Center. And the first of two today on CBS. Joe Johnson back in 2023 with the triplets against Bivouac. And with that, we welcome you. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jim Jackson, Brian Scalabrine with us as well. Hey, year number 6, Jimmy, here in the Big Three.
It is year number 6. Hard to believe that the league has continued to prosper. I think it was a huge advantage for the Big Three coming back last year, playing, reestablishing itself as the league that people want to watch in the summertime, and now back on the road where I think it's healthy, entertaining. Fans will have an awesome time this year.
Let's meet the lineups for this first game presented by PNC Bank and for Trilogy. These 5, same group that won it all last year in Atlanta against Power. For the enemies, upstart group, Nick Young, Swaggy P, the captain, again for Gilbert Arenas' club. But last year, thinking about what Trilogy won, Jimmy, Isaiah Briscoe, dynamite in a second year for Trilogy.
Well, I thought outstanding job of taking over for Jared Jack, who led Trilogy to the title the year before. A lot more was placed on Isaiah Briscoe's shoulder, and he didn't disappoint. You see the points scored, field goals made, total assists, and he scored the big-time shot to win the MVP. Now, can he repeat it now with his title on his back? We'll see.
Elijah Stewart last year, remember, enemies were 2-1, but he went to the Summer League in the NBA, and they tailed off. But he's back, and obviously one of the upstart guys this season in the Big Three.
No, upstart, but again, that's the beauty about the league. You can establish yourself as a star player. Now it's all about winning basketball games.
Brian Scalabrine with us and with Gilbert Arenas.
I'm with a guy that knows a little bit about scoring the ball. Last season you had Isaiah Stewart, and then he had to go halfway through. Are you going to be able to keep him all year?
Hope so. You know, with the way the league is, he was playing very well, so he got picked up last year, which is good for the league. But hopefully, the selfishness of me can keep him here so we can have a better chance of winning.
Where are you at with what it takes to win now in the Big Three with your third year being a part of it?
You know, with how the season goes, we need to win now. We need to start off great, start off hot. You know, usually we play better in the second half, but we need to start off the game, you know, with that winning energy.
All right, thanks, Gilbert. Good luck today.
Well, the man known as Agent Zero is a big talker back in his day. Speaking of big talkers, this guy, Steven Jackson, leading Trilogy, back-to-back titles, and again, their head coach in 2023. Let's revisit the rules that make the Big Three the best 3-on-3 basketball league in the world. First to 50 wins. There's no game clock. Shot clock is 14 seconds. Free throws, you get 1 shot for 2, 3, or 4 points, depending on where the foul is. And the 4-point shot, if you make it from one of 3 4-point circles, you get 4 in the Big Three. Let's do it. Briscoe, Clark, Trilogy back, looking for another title against Stewart and the enemies. Briscoe, Clark, Mayor Johnson against Stewart, Austin, and Jordan Crawford for the enemies. Briscoe, deep 3, nails it, and Trilogy with the first points of this season.
You got to keep in mind, the key about 3-on-3 basketball is spacing. Yeah, how do you, because it's hard to guard the full real estate of the court if you have proper spacing, especially if you have guys that can break you down off the dribble. And right there you saw Briscoe able to benefit off of that spacing.
One-legged, no, for Austin, the big fella. Number 1 pick a couple of years ago for the enemies. Pull-up 3 is no good for Earl Clark. Ross Stewart expecting big things this year. Short, Briscoe with the board. Up, made 1. He's got 2.
And that's his miscommunication. You can't allow Isaiah Briscoe to be wide open up top with 3-point shot, and he just hit 1, and that time Crawford, I think it might have been Austin on that pick and roll, didn't communicate well.
Dare we say Briscoe looking in that mid-season form with the smile and comfort level. Crawford with the first points for the enemies. Jordan Crawford, 6 NBA seasons out of Xavier. We'll stint before that at Indiana. Trilogy, a 6-2 lead. Oh, Clark, tough move, is fouled, and he'll shoot 1 for 2 points.
Well, go back, Isaiah Briscoe. We talked about his outstanding play last year, subbing in for, not subbing in, but taking over for Jared Jack. And here, just wide open. This is shooting practice right here. And then one more time off the pick and roll, the miscommunication. A little bit late, he makes you pay.
Now, the amazing part with Briscoe, coming off the bench a couple of years ago when Jack was the captain. And there, Clark last year, Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Three. Free throw for 2 points, and Trilogy with the 8-2 lead in the early going.
Well, you can't get too far behind this Trilogy team because, one, defensively they're big, so they're going to block up and take away some easy layups. They can guard one-on-one on the perimeter. Right there, that's his good offense by Isaiah Austin over the top of Amir Williams. But the key with beating this Trilogy team is to grind it out, not allow them to get some easy shots.
Now, Clark massive in the title game last year, ribs out. Austin snuck in there for the rebound. Clark at 22 in the win for Trilogy. Stewart yo-yos, flings it in. Briscoe the steal, and the stuff for Clark.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind, you turn the basketball over, you shoot an air ball, you don't have to take it back to clear the line. You can take it right in for the layup. The guys who are new to this sometimes have an issue adjusting to that. See Crawford knock it down, but the veterans in this league now recognize that and take it to their advantage.
Jimmy, you look at the rules and the really simple way to look at it in the Big Three. Yeah, scoring's big. They're 4-point shots, to say the least, as Johnson misses. Clark fouled, will get a shot for 2. But if you turn the ball over and don't rebound and don't make free throws, you can really pay a price in the Big Three.
Well, free throws are huge because it's 1 for 2. You got to knock that in, or it's 1 for 3 at the top of the key. So we've seen a lot of teams last year win and lose games at the free throw line, but also by turning the basketball over and giving up layups to their opponents.
There we go. First time this year, going to bring the fire and make Earl Clark earn it. So Gilbert Arenas brings the fire in this first half, and Clark will go one-on-one with Stewart. If he scores or is fouled, it's 2 for Trilogy. If Stewart gets a stop, then enemies wipe off the foul and no points. So here we go.
That's pretty early to use that. I mean, the game is still going, but Gilbert Arenas felt that at this particular moment, the matchup he thinks favors Stewart early in this first half, and let's see if it pays off for Gilbert.
Clark delays, attacks to the rim, no scores. Too much.
And Clark is smart. Don't settle. He talked about the 22 points last year where he did it in the versatility, the ability to get downhill, over the top, too small, Stewart.
All right.
Got it.
Thank you. Take a look at 2 of the most popular projections from today's second game.
Physical and mental, we got you covered. We got the North Stars playing with yesterday's selections, battling on the same court. Right here. Halftime shows, they don't change. Our fans are young and old.
Thank you.
The Big Three on CBS Sports is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Big Three on CBS Sports is sponsored by Taco Bell.
In Chicago, at the United Center, Trilogy early start, 12-7 lead against the enemies. Let's take a look at two of the most popular projections from today's second game between the Triplets and Bivouac, Jim.
Yeah, two scores that can get it done. Joe Johnson, I really think for Joe Green and Bivouac, he needs to be above that, closer to about 26, 27 points if Bivouac wants to have an opportunity to win that game.
Download the Prize Picks app to play along with the official daily fantasy partner of the Big Three. Enemies bring on Quincy Miller with Austin and Crawford. Miller last year and was vital with the three-headed monsters. Can shoot it. Missing. Rebound, Amir Johnson. Clark with the board.
Well, I also think, too, with the size of the enemies, you got to move the ball. You can't just go one-on-one. You play right into their hands in regards to utilizing the size. And right now, only one guard on the court, two for the enemies. I think quick pick and roll, swing the ball, you get some easy shots.
Austin, fade away. No. Rebound, Briscoe. So Briscoe with Johnson and Clark. The three Trilogy starters. Briscoe with his third three in his first half.
But you see, Miller gave him that, right? I mean, yeah, Miller gave him Briscoe a little bit too much space, kind of honoring the drive a little bit. And right there, another wide open shot that Isaiah Briscoe was able to capitalize on.
So Briscoe with 9 early points. Crawford battling one-on-one. Great D. Crawford short, gets his own rebound, scores. Trilogy, a 15-9 lead. Steve Jackson joining us now. Jax, early thoughts on this first game for Trilogy? Johnson guides it in. Nice focus, Joe.
As he should be. Trying to get that 3P. I get it. I understand it.
There we go. Good stop. Let's get a bucket here. Get out the way. He got it. He got it.
Clark's runner, no. Austin cleans it up. Austin working on Johnson. Ducks in, spins, missed it. And fouls. Get a shot for two. Johnson with personal for Trilogy. Get official Big Three merch at store.big3.com for league and team apparel, including jerseys, hats, jackets. Get it all at store.big3.com. Austin with a shot for two. Jim is third year with the enemies, number one pick in 2021. 7-1, but the fluidity of a guard and wing in many ways.
Well, at Baylor, he could play. He had the health issue that, kind of took away the opportunity for teams to draft him. A beautiful move, a good block that time by Stewart, but he's able to play. He's healthy, showed some signs that maybe some teams could take a look at him in the NBA or the G League, but are happy to have him back for this season.
Stewart launches and hits. Enemies will run here 5-0, and they're back within 3. Clark, stutter dribble to the rim, missed it. Stewart will fire. Hits another one.
There you go. And that's why Stewart is so important for this enemy's team. I mean, because he can score at all three levels, and not having him last year really hurt. You see his ability, and there's Clark talking about expanding his game. Able to knock in that three.
Curb the 8-0 run. But the enemy's right back in it in this first half. Stewart switched on to Clark. Fades away for three. Denied. Clark the swat down low. White scores. The captain with his first points. Flight White. Oh, I like the jersey with the 3 trophies on the back.
Hold up. Okay, so they're sending the message early that now they've won 3. Give them that. They want the 3-peat.
Briscoe with another long shot for 2.
And it's interesting because at the beginning with this Trilogy team early, this was a Braun with Kenyon Martin, these guys, Hawkins, White, they beat you up. Now a little bit more fluidity as the game and the league has advanced. And as you speaking about fluidity, Stewart right there able to go one-on-one to Briscoe.
Had some great games last year, Stewart, before he went to Vegas, played the Summer League with the Pelicans. Briscoe leans in. Here's Stewart. Austin. 3-pointer. Got it. And enemies back in 1 at 23-22.
Well, you get some stops. Now you're able to get some baskets really quick. I think attacking against this Trilogy defense early leads to some easier opportunities.
Oh, Briscoe delays. 3 to shoot. Clark, pull up for 2. Off the heel. And the bump by White. Flight White, captain for his second year with Trilogy, and the only 3-time champion as a player in Big 3 history.
Still hanging on, but he's bringing the knowledge. Not going to play as many minutes as he's done in the past, but good to have that savvy veteran leadership there.
Up. Stewart was preparing a 4-point shot, but off the ball, the foul on Briscoe.
I think it says a lot, too, Elijah Stewart being able to get called up. You talked about the Pelicans.
Yep.
Says a lot about, you know, the league itself. Joe Johnson had his stint with the Celtics.
Now, a couple of years ago, it was a late ad, but he hit that big basket late December of 2021. That gave Joe 18 NBA seasons with that one game. Austin launches. Yeah, violation with the miss for the enemies. Timeout for Gilbert Arenas and enemies. Trilogy by 1 on day 1. Big 3 off and running in Chicago right after this here on CBS. In Chicago, enjoy the early afternoon refreshments here today. CBS Tuesday, across the world, the chase is on. The FBI's global crossover event. Special encore starts with FBI International Tuesday at 8/7 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Great afternoon for the kids here in the Windy City. Briscoe denied, got a piece, but Stewart snuck in there. Fires the 3. Clark with clearance.
Well, I like the play coming out the timeout by Steven Jackson to get Briscoe on the post, not able to benefit off of it. I tell you, when Isaiah Briscoe gets that big body down there, bro, he's as tough to stop as anyone in this league. He initiates a lot of contact early, which is smart on his end. And a lot of times he'll pick up the foul because the defender a lot of times retaliates trying to be physical. And he ends up at the free throw line.
6'3", but that doesn't tell the whole story. Briscoe, big first half with 3 threes, and Trilogy by 3 at 25-22. We've hit the break here in game 1. So Briscoe with the offense, Earl Clark with the defense, last year's top defender in the big 3. Earl Clark with Brian Scalabrine.
All right, Earl, you look like you're in midseason form. No delay at all. You had a great championship game and picking it up in this first half.
Yes, sir. I try to stay in shape all year round. I love basketball. I'm just happy to be out here one more year with my friends and family and compete. And it's just a great thing.
You got a lot of credit for your defense last year. You're picking it up again. And what is it going to take for you guys to three-peat?
Absolutely. We just got to play Trilogy basketball and continue to stick with each other. And I'm sure we'll run it back.
All right. Thanks, Earl.
Another pride of Plainfield, New Jersey. End of the first half, Trilogy with the lead against the enemies. We'll return to Chicago after these messages and a word from your local station. As the official automotive partner of the Big 3. This season, there's even more excitement now through August 19th after the Toyota RAV4 Big 3 giveaway. He's having a blast. Oh, that's awesome. Returns as the official automotive partner of the Big 3 this season. Proudly returns as the official. Big 3. Toyota proudly returns as the official automotive partner of the Big Three. This season, there's even more excitement now through August 19th. Enter the Toyota RAV4 Big Three giveaway for a chance to win a 2023 RAV4 Hybrid XSE. To enter or view the official rules, simply scan the QR code on your screen or visit Toyota RAV4 Big3Giveaway.com. Welcome back inside the United Center. Ed Cohen with Jimmy Jackson. Hey, Trilogy, good start. Isaiah Briscoe, no surprise to start in that first half.
The surprising, well, not surprising. Listen, a lot of times when you're the champion, you're trying to repeat, you kind of take it easy. I don't think this Trilogy team, based on the makeup of the lineup, especially with Stephen Jackson coaching, is going to take for granted that they're just going to walk in here and win another championship. So I love the way they started the actual game, put enemies on their feet. The enemies kind of made a comeback. We'll see what the second half has for us.
Well, this guy, Jimmy mentioned the strength at 6'3" to get inside, but also made some shots early on for Trilogy.
But that sets the tone in regards to him being able to get down here. You knock a couple of these three-point shots down. Now the defense has to honor it. And when you do that, now you get easy layups, not just for you, but now the help defense come get some for your teammates.
Well, Briscoe working on Stewart. So Briscoe and Trilogy with the advantage at the break here against the enemies. Played 39 NBA games with Orlando in 2019. Briscoe with 13 at Trilogy's 25 in that first half.
You know, it's interesting. In our pregame show, and I thought Stephen Jackson made a great point. He said that a lot of the players now become kind of like the guy in this league where they probably haven't been in the past, maybe in their professional careers, but they have an opportunity here. And what does that mean to be the guy each and every game? You know, now you got to carry the burden on your shoulder. You got to score the basketball, make your teammates better, accept the win and losses. And he said that's something that he talked to Isaiah a lot about last year in regards to giving him, not that he needed confidence, so to speak, but the confidence to continue to lead, to score, even when things weren't going the correct way, and ultimately they won a championship.
Go back a couple of years ago in Vegas, Bahamas, when they won their second title. He was a bit of an unknown entering the season, and then all of a sudden you watch him go, this guy's perfect off the bench. Drew Jack getting the start as captain for Trilogy.
He was. I think Jared Jack was the perfect, I thought, mentor for what we see with Isaiah Briscoe in regards to it relates to the Big Three. Earl Clark right there. You got to make a decision. If you're going to play the pick and roll, either you're going to get over the top, you're going to trap, or you're going to help, or you're going to switch. What you going to do? When you're in between, as we've seen a couple of times, where you don't communicate, then Trilogy is going to make you pay.
This guy can make him. Earl Clark, another outside shot going down. Austin fades good over Earl Clark. Scal, know you're high on the enemies. Your thoughts on this first half and now early in the second?
I think Jim Jackson nailed it. Do you think every time they make a mistake, like Trilogy makes them pay? You leave Briscoe, you knock down a three. You don't talk on the pick and roll, they score. This team is it's like a well-oiled machine right now.
Hey, Scal, you play, and you understand the dynamics of 3-on-3. You played it a lot in practice. The spacing is so important, and you nailed it on the head. The communication part of it, how important is that?
Yeah, if you don't talk, your coverage is through. There's just so much space with not that many guys, so that makes such a big difference.
Ed Clark against a smaller Stewart. Austin, that was Crawford with the triple for the enemies. That's a one-point game. Briscoe, Johnson, Clark for Trilogy. Crawford with Austin and Stewart. Briscoe, no. Crawford to the spot. Austin freed up off the double. Austin glides, fades, too much. Clark to save. Briscoe was open, had to clear it.
Yep.
Smart play. Johnson denied but fouled by Crawford. And a free throw coming up for two for the enemy, or for rather Trilogy. All right, Gilbert Arenas.
That's not three? I know it was 7. It was 7 seconds. It was 3 2 times.
Agent Tiro, hate to get in the way of your coaching, but we got you now.
How you doing?
Hey, Gil, I just want to know this, man. You had me on one episode. I ain't do good enough. You didn't want to bring me back on another episode.
Man,
I'm just saying.
Hey, Jim, you're a busy man, Jim. You're a busy man.
And so, listen, coming into this game, you knew how good Trilogy was. What's your strategy of how you want to walk out of here with a W?
See, they start with their bigs, and you know the power of our team is the guards. So we're trying to see if we can outscore them while trying to play defense, and you know that's why they're the champs.
Well, a couple of times you had some miscommunications on pick and rolls where Briscoe was wide open for a shot. And I think it might have been Earl Clark wide open. What are you trying to tell your guys in regards to communicating?
You know, just focusing, calling out the screens, calling out the picks, so they know that it's coming, switch it, and then play defense aggressively.
Hey, Gilbert, real quick, I look at Austin out there right now, Miller on the bench, but you've got two stretch bigs at your disposal. How important is that going to be as this year goes on?
You know, as the year goes on, the fact that we have two bigs that can shoot the ball, plus they are big and mobile once, you know, the season gets to going, you know, and these guys getting set to be great for us.
Mr. Hibachi, Agent Zero, Gilbert Arenas, thanks.
All right, thank you, bro.
Enemies within one. In and out for Clark. They can take the lead. Crawford, too much. Here's Amir Johnson, backs down Austin, flipped it up. They'll shoot a free throw for two. Jim, hey, week one, you never know. With continuity, chemistry, rust, it's been a fluid game on both sides.
Well, the beginning of the season is very important from this perspective. I think he's got another bring the fire right here by Gilbert Arenas. One, got to be ready to play and come in shape, because endurance-wise, that helps you.
Talk about bring the fire. Challenge a shooting foul, which Gilbert Arenas done again. You get one per half. And if Isaiah Austin gets a stop against Johnson, wave off the bucket or the free throw attempt. If Johnson scores or is fouled, points go to Trilogy.
Well, Earl Clark was able to benefit early in the first half. Let's see if this time enemies can get a stop, which they do.
Well, swipe, easy.
Well, you think that Amir Johnson is not as fluid with his handles on the court, is why Gilbert Arenas chose to bring it at that occasion. Big time, too, because the possession goes back to enemies. Enemies can put some pressure on Trilogy. Why? By taking the lead.
Jordan Crawford. Clark Neely with the steal. Stewart. Jukes fires to 9 but fouled, and Clark with the personal. Stewart will get a free throw for 2. Hey. Steven Jackson, your turn to bring the fire.
And Clark was in good position, and we couldn't see it from this angle if he got him on the arm.
Taco Bell bring the fire, our second in a matter of minutes.
I mean, the innovation of this league in regards to the 4-point play, we talked about it before in our pregame, but also bring the fire. It's just like the challenge in the NBA. Instead of reviewing, you have the two players involved kind of go one-on-one.
Stewart, yo-yos, stops. See Clark all over him. Tough shot. It's no good. And Earl Clark wins it mano-a-mano with ease.
Well, but that's why Earl Clark was the Defensive Player of the Year last year. His ability, one, to guard the post player, but then watch the body movement, the anticipation of Earl Clark. This is on Elijah Stewart, who as quick and fluid as anybody in the league. But yet and still, Earl Clark was able to keep the spacing and ultimately get the stop defensively.
Clark extends the lead. It's still 35-31 with that 3. Feels like it's a bigger lead for Trilogy, but the enemies still within 4. Crawford, stop and go to the rim. Got it, and a foul. A chance at 3 for Jordan Crawford.
Crawford right here. Again, you don't provide as much help in 3-on-3 because you have to guard. That time, Earl Clark had to stay with Elijah Stewart, so he couldn't come off him as much, and Crawford identified that, was able to turn the corner. Again, not having that fourth man to rotate over. Now, if you can get past your initial defender, occupy the lane to be open.
Crawford last year joined enemies mid-season when Stewart went to the Summer League. So 3-point play. And the lead down to 1 again. Briscoe, White, Clark for Trilogy against Crawford, Austin, and Miller. Swiped, but Clark there. 4 to shoot. Clark, the blow by to the rim. Too much. Quincy Miller. Off the screen. Crawford with the switch he likes. Scores, and the enemies
There we go.
with the lead by
Here we
2.
go. Put pressure on the champion to win this game. Now, if you get a stop here, put yourself in a position. I wouldn't settle for a 3, but now I spoke too soon because Isaiah Briscoe was smart because you know what he didn't do? He didn't bail the enemies out by settling for a jump shot. He used that big body and got himself downhill to the free throw line once again. That's the benefit of having a smart, high IQ player like Briscoe. Don't settle for a jump shot. Get it from the free throw line.
I don't want to blow your cover, but
What?
you're a pretzel guy, and I already see that you've got the goods
But listen,
in game 1.
but listen, you gotta understand something. I'm a little off my game. You know why? Because this is my pregame. is right now in the middle. Every game I always have a pretzel before the game. Sometimes I double it up depending on the arena. How good the pretzel is.
The best. We'll get you to New York in a couple of weeks.
Hey, Brooklyn got one of the best, brother.
Clark? No.
Got fouled.
What a foul.
Uh-oh, got a tech.
Yep. Miller is teed up. So with that, it's a free throw for 2 and
The ball back.
the technical as well.
So let's keep our eye on eventually who wins this game and where the game goes from here. Because you got the foul. Now, so you shoot 1 for 2.
Yep.
And you got the tech. Okay, so now you're talking about a game that's in balance right now. And because of a mental mistake when it's tied, you're allowing your opponents easy baskets to score and separate this lead. So just keep our eye on that.
Technical won't go, and Gilbert Arenas used to bring the fire this half
Earlier.
earlier, so even if it was close, you don't have that option to at least negate the foul. But here's another free throw for 2, this time for Clark again.
Well, you think about this. This is why I said this. Free throw line is so important that you make free throws. You're talking about a potential 4-point play. You can extend the lead. Now, you miss it, you still get the 2 points, but that 4 is huge in this perspective at the end of the game. Another tech, and who's out? See?
There we go. Yeah, that's right. Hey, you're good. You're already gone, Austin.
Wow, Austin's been ejected.
Complete meltdown at the end, the emotion part of it. But you can't put your team in this situation.
Giving some room, and then eventually
Well,
tossed.
Now, it's you may say the technical is warranted or not. I think last year the officials were a little bit too loose with the players, with allowing them to dictate the control of the game. I like the officials to take control when they need to be, not allow their egos to get involved, but to control the game. And the players have to understand that. The officials have their job, and the players have their job. And now these are 2 critical mental mistakes by the enemies. Not that you just give Trilogy free throws, but now one of your best players is ejected from the game.
Now, I think they're reviewing here because Austin, I thought, was the one who they signaled was ejected. Let's go to Scout more.
All right, so I'll sum it up. Quincy Miller got the initial tech for throwing the ball off the backboard. That's the T. Isaiah Austin is the one that got the second tech, so no one's ejected.
Okay.
But we got 2 techs.
There we go.
And so far, hasn't cost enemies any points until now.
Well, Clark makes the first technical for 2 points. Now, on the team's second technical, you get 2 free throws each for 2. So Clark hits 1, and he'll get another one now. And again, Jimmy, if you make that one mental mistake, it creates a real problem. So 1 free throw down, another is short, so he's missed a couple of real opportunities. And Mr. Austin heading to the tunnel. All right, we'll sum it all up after this. Trilogy with the lead in Chicago. Thank you. Good. Thanks. What's up? I'm okay, yeah. Cool. What's up?
I want to tell you that the amount of people that see the stands here today exceeds what used to happen pre-Jordan. This place was like half as much as what you see
Wow,
now.
that's a great anecdote. Crazy.
And after you have this many people standing there or standing outside smoking.
Thank you, Lord. Good.
Stats are coming through the mobile app, but not the
Not there?
computer.
Yeah, this is great. Like points, as much as you can do is great. Awesome. Thank you. You know, like, no, you're doing great. You're doing great. Big Three Summer Fire coming to a city near you. Dallas, New York, Memphis, Miami, Boston, Charlotte, and Washington, D.C. Go to big3.com/tickets for all the details. All right, Scal, Trilogy by 2. What just happened with the ejection?
All right, so it unfolded all. Quincy Miller with the first technical foul that led to a shot. Here he is. He throws the ball off the backboard. There's the first tech. As Earl Clark was shooting, you see the technical foul right there against Austin. Even though it's only his first tech, he got ejected for whatever he said. And you can be ejected after one tech. So there he goes. And then why he shot 2 free throws, because if a team gets 2 technical fouls the second time, it's a 2 free throw penalty.
A perfect summation from Mr. Scalabrini. So now it's enemies going forward without Isaiah Austin. It was now a 4-point game.
Can I talk to Scal real quick?
Of course.
Hey, Scal.
Don't go with any big words. Like, I don't know what
Come
he
on.
just said.
Don't even try.
Don't go with the big words.
But you know this. The officials kind of let things go in the years past.
Yeah.
Can they set the tone early by not allowing guys to kind of just dictate what they say and how they say it?
1,000%.
Right.
Jimmy Jackson, you are all over it because it got a little out of control. And sometimes it felt like the guys who had the most power were the ones that are doing the most out there. I like how they set the tone early.
My man.
Keep it clean.
And no big words.
Come on, I know that USC education got you ready to go, bro. That's a private school over there. Come on now. I went to a public university.
I got all the math classes. You know I can add, baby.
And we both can add.
That's right.
More importantly, we can subtract too.
Big Ten for you and Big Ten for Scal in about a year.
I know. How about that?
Crazy.
Stewart, look what I found with the cleanup and the finish. 43-38 Trilogy by 5 here at the United Center. Back on the road for the Big Three. Next week, Dallas. Week 3 in Brooklyn. Clark fades away, hits it, and a foul against Stewart. Earl Clark with 19 now for Trilogy.
Just when enemies trying to make a little run, I love the mismatch, identifying where it's at on the court. You have Earl Clark inside on the smaller Elijah Stewart. Patient on the post, using that size, and now the opportunity to knock in the shot.
He's 6'10", but there's so many things beyond the height. Point game. A 4-point shot would do it for Trilogy.
And remember, the rule is 16 fouls. Now the ball reverts back to the offensive team who picked up the foul.
Briscoe, this for 3, nails it.
And you know why that worked? Elijah Stewart guarding Clark on the post. Crawford had to give a little bit of help. Clark got it out of his hands quick, and my man Briscoe able to knock it in.
Trilogy on the cusp in week 1. We'll be back in 30 seconds right after this. Buckle up in Chicago, first of 6 games. All 12 teams taking the floor today at the United Center. First 2 here on CBS. Great to be with you for week 1 of this 6th Big 3 season. Oh, Jimmy, the story, Clark with 22, Briscoe with 21 for the defending champs.
Yeah, no let up from last year. Coming out with the aggression, the attention to detail, the focus. And again, the influence of Clark and his size. Crawford had what could have been a nice easy layup, but intimidated just a little bit by Earl Clark.
Briscoe and Clark with 43 of Trilogy's 49. Point game. Clark. That's the matchup he wants. Against Stewart. Earl Clark fades away. Too much. Jordan Crawford working baseline. Stewart fires. Crawford to Nick Young. Swaggy P with the 3.
I say go right back down to Clark. Force Crawford to have to make the decision. Is he going to help in or not? But that's a bad pass, bad angle. That time by Isaiah Briscoe, giving the enemies another chance to cut into this lead.
Crawford pulls up. Gets the bounce. All right, get a stop, apply a little more pressure, down 5. Stewart fronting him.
The offensive foul.
On Clark.
See, but here's the thing. I think movement is better. And what I mean by you're trying to post up Clark on Elijah Stewart. That's fine. Move him into the post, swing the ball, bring him in. Now it's an easier pass. If you're just trying to walk it over, it's easier to defend that.
Off the turnover, Crawford blow by, up and under. Will shoot a free throw for 2.
Well, this time Crawford was able to get his shoulder right past Earl Clark, and Clark could not recover. Picked up that foul. How many fouls is that for enemies right now? So, Trilogy only had 4, so they don't return it. See, it would have been huge if they would have gotten the penalty a little bit earlier, late in the game. The enemies could have retained the ball, but yet they're 2 fouls away from that. Let's see if you have a little bit more movement right now by Trilogy. I think Isaiah Briscoe might try to take it in his own hands.
There he is. Briscoe Becker missed. Crawford to Stewart. 4-point shot. Off the mark. Stewart stuck in there, saved it, but he was out.
Well, and that's where the 4-point shot comes into play, because it gives the enemies an opportunity to close out this game, or you got to win it by 2 anyway. You got to keep that in mind as well. So that would have gave the enemies a 1-point lead at 50-49.
Timeout, Stephen Jackson. They want to end it now. Trilogy by 3. We're back in 30 seconds. Down the stretch in game 1 of this Big 3 season, Trilogy by 3 over the enemies. Saturday, the Summer Fire continues here on CBS. Each week, we come with 2 games. Big 3 will be on the court for all the games beginning at 1 Eastern in Dallas here on CBS.
Ball out underneath. See what play Jack drew up, and
Briscoe before the shot steps. All right, traveled out of timeout.
Some mental mistakes right here. You had the offensive foul by Clark, and now you have, it's a travel by Isaiah Briscoe, giving another opportunity. And I would try to score quick. If I'm the enemies, try to go quick. I mean, the 4-point shot doesn't do anything for you in regards to winning the game, unless you got a wide open one.
Crawford almost from 4. Earl Clark for the win. In and out. Swaggy P. Here we go. Big 3 at its best. Stewart wants White. Stumbles. Missed it. Swaggy P. In and out. Clark rising. Big rebound. Clark. This for the win again. Got it! And the defending champions begin this latest journey with a victory in the Windy City.
Well, not an easy one. Had to sweat it out. Enemies made their run, but I go back to those 2 technicals or 3 technicals or 4, whatever it was. But it kind of changed the momentum of the game and stressed out the league at the time, where Trilogy was kind of feeling the pressure. And I think the quick outlet here, because you take long shots, you're not matched up. Now, if you make a quick decision with the ball, you're going to have an open shot, and Earl Clark is finally able to walk off with our first W of year 6.
Earl Clark with 25, Isaiah Briscoe 21 with Brian Scalabrine.
All right. Congratulations, Isaiah. You and Earl Clark combined for 46. But first, last year, you kept taking my mic and making statements. This year, you look like an MVP out there. Is that your statement you're going to make?
Nah, I don't got no statement to make, man. I'm just out here having fun. You know, I've been wearing these patches. I've been playing good, and can't ask for nothing else, man. I'm playing basketball. I'm happy.
He doesn't deserve to get interviewed today. Oh, come on. Hey, I thought you did a really good job of having balance and getting your teammates involved. How do you find your balance in this game?
The ball, I mean, I know the ball gonna be in my hand most of the times. I'm like the only guard, so like I said, just having fun. I know Earl, I know when he get it going to just give him the ball, and I'm good, man. I'm just out here just having fun. I'm glad I'm playing basketball.
All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations. All right, guys, send it back to you.
All right, Scal. Steven Jackson, also the PR director of this Trilogy team, apparently. Well, the shot of the day presented by Hyundai in Briscoe. That was a big three in this one for Trilogy.
A big-time shot by Briscoe, big-time pass again. The team knows each other well. And I kind of like the attitude Briscoe last year, always making the statement right there to my man Scal.